Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
I'm Dana.
And I'm Zach.
Let's do this. Another fun one. Let's make an announcement now, I guess we should say, about Dana joining the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Dana's a permanent member
Yay.
now of the exciting and new podcast.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Congratulations.
Very excited. Thank you.
And this
Michelle's
is
always like,
first
does
time
Dana
on.
want to be there? Does Dana really want to be there? I'm
I
like, I
do.
think she
We're
does.
forcing her, yeah.
I think she does.
I do.
That's what Andy said, too. Like, Dana really wants to be there.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
do.
yeah, I think so, too. And she enjoys it.
I do.
She brings a lot to
Like
it.
the day after her daughter's wedding, she was like, I can't wait to podcast. Like, this is what I
know.
need to do.
I know.
These friggin' dogs,
Getting
man.
it, yeah.
What
Oh
were
my
they
God.
doing when you went out there? Just sitting
they're
there?
they're like clawing at the cage. I'm like, come on, guys.
Act like you've been there before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're excited about this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're talking about Mortuary today. Let me pull up my notes here. This is rated R, released. I went over top of my notes here. It released on, here we go. Production first released Mortuary regionally, screening it in Tucson, Arizona only on May 7th, 1982. It later opened in Newport News, Virginia on July 8th, 1983, before premiering in Los Angeles September 2nd, 1983.
Wow, so
This
this
movie
is a slow
actually came
roll.
out in 82, but didn't really get full wide release till
Maybe
83.
that's why this feels more like a 70s horror movie than an 80s horror movie, because they probably filmed it in the 70s if it came out in 82.
It did have. Wow. It was dark. It sounds like we're in a shelter.
Yes, it does.
Kennel.
I'm going to yell at them. They're going to be they're very much in trouble now.
They don't want to be in trouble. That's not a good thing. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
glad you explained that, actually, because I noticed online some places said 82 and some
Yeah.
said 83. I didn't know that was why.
I thought that's happened with a few movies now, where it gets released locally or whatever, and then it gets like a full release. Or
More
something
often
like
than
that.
not,
So-
it's the horror movies, it seems. That Evil Dead was like that. Wasn't
Evil
Evil
Dead?
Dead filmed in like 81 or something like that?
Evil
It didn't
Dead
come
was
out till
that- yeah.
83?
And Bruce Campbell's parents pretty much paid for the filming of that movie.
Oh, shit. I forgot to bring up on the mini podcast. I watched the first 4 episodes of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Oh, you
I
started
started it over
Yeah.
because I was like, man,
The only thing is you're going to get real mad when you get to season
When it
3 and
just
it ends
stops.
because
I
it just
know.
stops. And I'm like, I wanted more of that. It was so good. And it just ended. Nobody picked that up, though.
it is really good, and it's actually kind of scary, and it's certainly funny.
It's super bloody.
It's
Yeah.
really
stupidly bloody.
And over the top kind
Oh my
of
God,
blood.
he had a
they
line,
did it
I
really
wish I
well for a
remember.
show. And I think that was originally on Stars.
Stars, yeah.
Stars
When you brought up
show, yeah.
Stars for your show, I thought about that. I was like, oh, yeah, I was watching a Stars show. Not on Stars, but I think Netflix.
Yeah, I think that's streaming on or Prime. But the IMDb, or this was directed by Howard Avidas.
It's Evita, I think.
Is it
Don't cry
Evita?
for me, Argentina.
Is that who he
No,
is?
I have no idea.
I looked him up. He died 2017. He lived to be 90, but
Nice. Good job.
he directing wise, he had not much. Mortuary was in there, obviously, but The Stepmother he did in 72. That was something that maybe you may have heard of, but that's it director wise.
What was his real job? Was he like a...
Probably did more
Bagger at Acme or
producing,
something like that, or-
more producing and stuff like that, shit like that. But let me get to the description here. Sorry, I don't have my notes like I normally do. I left them at work.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so-
right. You're right. You don't have your sheet in
Usually I
front
have
of you. What
a sheet,
happened?
And it was already too late on Friday. I was like, they asked you to grab it, so I was like, damn. But I
was
got
at
them on
5.
here, so I'm good. It just takes me a while to go back and forth. But convinced that her father's death was not accidental, a beautiful girl decides to investigate to find out the truth, aided by her boyfriend. Her sleuthing draws her to a local mortuary where many secrets will be revealed.
How did that guy not see the
He
killer?
was a Nazi?
How did he not see him coming? Like he was
I know.
sitting
He
on
was
the
on
pool
his
chair
right
and he
there.
came from his left. And
Yeah.
anybody with
Oh,
even
you're talking about at the pool.
yeah,
At the pool,
anybody
right, yeah.
with like partial peripheral vision would have seen him coming because
Yeah.
they showed him at the side of him. I was like, how's he sneaking
And
up on him?
That
Yeah.
bat just went like this. It was just like a straight down, kind of like boom. Didn't have much velocity.
I thought that was a dream.
It does seem like it's a dream,
seemed very
right?
dreamy because when she ran out onto the balcony, it took her about 3.5 minutes in slow mo to just be like,
that was the worst though, because she has to like, she looks out there and she's like, I gotta go back to get you, but I have to go back this way to go that way.
It was definitely a dream because then her mother later references that she's having these, her
the
imagination.
dreams. Okay, yeah. It does make sense now because it had the
haze, the hazy
like,
kind of dreamy thing.
I love that. That was like one of my favorite sequences in the movie.
That first scene there with her running and
the slow motion and just the score and everything. It kind of reminded me of like a Fulci movie, like The Beyond or something. Like just a long, slow scene right in the beginning too. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
which is I told you I had notes.
He does have notes. That makes me proud. I was like, yeah, I love that.
Which is interesting because what's the guy? What's the father's name? The guy that gets hit in the head with the bat.
Name?
Doctor whatever. I don't even know any of these characters' names except Paul.
That's Bill Paxton's dad. You're talking about
Doctor whatever his name was. Psychiatrist.
It's just Josh, Dennis Mandel.
No, Josh was the friend that got stabbed in the...
Dr. Parson, right? That was Danny.
Yeah, Parson.
Dr. Parsons.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'm thinking of Christopher George.
And that was
that was the mortuary.
He's the mortuary. That's Bill Paxton's dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he is in a Fulci movie, actually. City of the Dead.
Okay, yeah.
So
he's also married in real life to Linda
Dead.
Day George, who played the mom in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Her mom? Or,
Eve Parson,
his
played
mom?
her mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so her mom...
The blonde?
Is married
with
to
the nightgown with her boobs hanging out.
Yeah, she looked great in this too.
I noticed that.
I love her.
That was an insane nightgown.
It's just, it made no sense for her to be wearing that nightgown with everything that's going on.
I know.
But not to be outdone, who's the main kid? The blonde kid, George? No,
her boyfriend,
Greg.
Yeah.
His dad had the best robe. He had like the Jason and the Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat kind of robe. I was like, that thing is awesome. If I owned a robe, it would
sort
be
of like what Pedro
that
Pascal
robe.
was wearing last night on SNL. Did you see that?
I did not. Was
I
he
saw
on?
parts of it.
He had like this weird like shirt, and then he had yellow pants on, and like it just.
Was he the host?
No,
Pedro Pascal?
Bad Bunny was the host.
Oh,
but Bad Bunny was the host and the musical guest, and then Mick Jagger came out. Lady Gaga came out.
Wow.
Somebody else came out too. I can't think of who else came out.
Pedro Pascal.
Next week is Nate Bargatze.
Okay.
Yeah. And Foo Fighters.
Oh.
I thought that was, man, I could have sworn that was this week, but whatever, man. I don't pay attention to Saturday Night Live that much. But
it was Bad Bunny did both this week.
Yeah.
That's why,
All right.
So.
I don't watch TV. I don't know.
You're one of those people?
I'm one of those people.
He's a movie guy.
Yeah, all physical media. I don't even have internet.
How do you watch? What do you watch? How do you watch things?
I own stuff.
You like buy DVDs and stuff like that?
Too.
VHS, Blu-ray, DVD. Yeah.
You're one of those. How old are you?
I want to watch stuff whenever I
Are
want
you
to
like a
watch
hipster
it.
doofus? Like, what's your story, man?
No, I just feel like they take a lot of stuff off of streaming. It's like people. I'll suggest a movie to somebody and they'll go, "Well, what's it on?" And I'm like, I don't know. I own it. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, I recently...
It is a lot easier.
A movie guy I follow on TikTok recently did something about that, how when you buy things on streaming, you don't own it. You made it paid for it. You didn't rent it. You bought it. But as soon as you buy it from Amazon Prime, if they get rid of it, you don't have it anymore either.
So if you
buy it and they decide they're not carrying it anymore, you don't get it anymore?
Yeah, it could be taken down and taken away from you. It's not permanent that you have
even
that.
if you have it saved on, like if you download it physically on your iPad, like say,
I don't know.
You would have that,
You would then keep that, right? Like even if it goes away on Amazon.
Yeah, I didn't know you could
you bought that,
do
right?
that. So I'm sure there's plenty of people like me who I don't know how to download things. I have bought things from Prime because I get so many points from not
so you
shipping
get it
things.
for free, yeah.
So I get it for free, and I'm like, well, why don't I just buy it, whatever? And I don't know how to take it off of there.
Right.
So if they get rid of it, then I don't have it anymore either.
Well, with Prime, you can download stuff like that because they sell movies. But with Netflix and HBO Max, you can't buy those
They
movies.
can just decide they're not
Okay.
carrying it
Once
anymore.
they rotate for the next
Yeah.
season, if you wanted to watch something that was from the previous round,
Exactly, yeah.
you're out of luck.
Yeah, like I told you to watch X. I think it's on
I'll get
Showtime or whatever. You didn't watch that yet either,
Or
did
more
you?
than that. More than that.
Well, obviously, Zach has to own it to watch it, so he hasn't bought it yet. Is it
Yes.
available on
I
any
believe you
kind
could
of...
buy it. Yeah, you could buy X. Or you might have seen it in the movies as well.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. But let's say a movie gets bought by Disney or a company like that, and they want to change. Like I was watching Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of scenes in the background in that town where there's like adult bookstores and XXX things like
They took that out?
Well, they may take out a scene where someone's smoking a cigarette
Well, they took out guns in E.T.
Exactly.
That's right. Yes.
Oh,
They'll
really?
change stuff like that,
Yeah.
and they're not going to tell you about that. So
No,
you
they
might
just-
watch a different
yeah.
movie than what originally came out.
E.T.'s a lot more scarier when you were a kid because they had those guns. It's not as scary. It's still
When they're
good.
when they're
it still holds
walkie-talkies.
up because I remember giving that a 95 when we did the rewatch. It was still good, but and
Speaking
plus,
of guns.
plus I want to live at that neighborhood.
He pulled out that rifle from a coffin randomly.
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
he knew it
Threw
was
me
there.
off.
Remember,
How did he know it was there?
Because in the first
We saw it
scene,
in
when
the
when
first-
him
yeah.
and Josh are up there, he said, "Hey, there's a gun in this coffin."
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
But
There was also that
How did-
arm hanging out.
how
of
did he
it.
know? How did he know that gun was in that coffin?
Yeah.
I mean, that specific coffin. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was great when it was blanks.
Everybody's lack of
Wait, he laughed.
blank,
He said, "It's
stupid."
blank, stupid."
Thanks, stupid.
We were all over the place too. Obviously,
That's
you know
okay.
that. Yeah.
When
I
they
almost
first
wanted
found
to-
the gun, like their lack of, there was like such a lack of anybody being surprised by the things they were seeing in this
Yeah.
movie.
Hey, there's
Mm-hmm.
a cult having some kind of weird thing down
Yes.
there. I'm going to stay here and watch this. You go get
Yeah.
your tires. I'm
He's like, "I'll stay here."
What?
They were just like I liked the one scene when the mortuary what do you call him?
Mortician?
Mortician. I couldn't think of the damn word. Yeah,
Isn't
When
she an Adams Family guy?
It's Morticia.
Morticia,
When he
sorry.
goes into the room and Bill Paxton's in there, and he was in there with Josh or Greg. He was in there
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Greg, and then kicks Greg out. Greg stands there with the door open for the longest time,
And he's watching them work.
Nobody notices.
and then he finally turns around. And he said, "You get out of here. You're next." Just the way he did that next. It's just so great.
And that poor actress that had to play like dead naked woman. Like, I mean,
God.
like,
Just like her breasts are just
what
out.
strip
Yeah,
club
she
did they hire her
And it's funny
from?
too because
Yeah.
you can see her stomach turn into the gelatin. When,
Oh, for
when
sure.
it goes away and it comes back, you kind of see the gelatin like
when
moving.
you,
like
but you could also see her eyes twitch whenever
Yeah.
he was by her jugular or something like that. He was like doing something around her neck.
Yeah.
And every time he
Yeah.
touched her, you saw her eyes like flicker. I'm like, she's not that dead.
I did make note of that. The,
That's
the
sedated.
first,
She was sedated though.
the first boobs in this movie, and it was a dead person's boobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's you see a lot of dead boobs, and I'm gonna say I think you see more dead boobs than
And the live boobs that you saw were not whose boobs you thought. Because that girl that was lying on that table at the end was not the main star. That was not the girl from the Waltons.
No.
Because
We should
her
have had-
hair changed all of a sudden. I was like, why does she have straight hair all of a
We
sudden?
needed the mom.
Yeah.
That's the breasts that we needed in this
Eve
movie.
Parsons.
Apologies, Dana, but those were the breasts we needed in this movie.
Dana
That's what I
wanted
was
to see those
waiting
breasts,
for.
too.
It was that whole scene. He was just oiling her up. I was like, why?
That was awesome.
The oiling up was
Why?
ridiculous. That was for us.
And then you just think that okay, it's Bill Paxton, and like he's doing that, and does he look back on that and be like, oh, I wish I hadn't.
He doesn't look back at
oiled
anything.
He
up
doesn't
that-
look back anymore.
Oh my god.
But the funniest thing is, like, how much does your opinion change on him when you're like, oh, he's a perv?
Yeah.
Like, you're a sociopathic murderer. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
But then he starts oiling her up. You're like,
And you're
ah,
oh,
dude, you're a
man.
gross perv,
I
too.
know.
Like,
And how
I
did he get
accepted you
another
as a
job
murderer.
after this? Like, I mean, he was great. I loved it because it was him. But if it wasn't him, like, if he didn't become who he became, it was terrible. And you knew, first of all, you knew he was the killer right away.
Oh, of
As soon as
course.
he came up, you're like, oh, he's the killer.
and so this is 82-ish or 3.
2/3.
So when's Weird Science?
did-
like, when's
actually,
like
Bill
next
Paxton's
for
3
him?
years later.
3 years.
I'm looking
Okay.
at Bill Paxton now. He did Stripes before.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's right.
Bill Paxton did another slasher before this movie, actually.
let me see.
Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker.
Oh,
Crazy Mama in 1975. Stripes was 81.
Oh, Stripes was
Did you
before
know?
this, huh?
Did you know he's in the Fish Heads music video? Fish heads, fish heads, roly poly fish. Yeah, he's in that video.
oh my god.
That band's great too. Barnes and Barnes. If you haven't listened to them, check them out. He's in another one of their videos. He must have been friends with them. But here's Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker. That was 81. Also,
So what's Bill Paxton's top 4? Is it
he was in Pat Benatar's Shadows of the Night video.
Really?
so he was a very hard-working
Awesome.
actor before he got famous.
He's done a lot of videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Barnes and Barnes one too. He did a lot of. He must have been friends with them. I mean,
He was very cute.
Terminator in
Definitely very cute
84,
back
Did you
then.
think he was cute?
Yeah, I thought he was cute.
I thought it was kind
he's
of
the-
creepy looking.
Yeah.
he's the punk leader in 1984's Terminator.
That's right. He
The
was the one that
tire
gets.
track on his face.
Is he the one that gets his heart bashed out of his back, or is that Rob Hyman from the Hooters? Because those are the two guys. It's Bill
think that's-
Paxton,
yeah, I
Rob
think it's-
Hyman from the Hooters, and another guy. But
The other
one
guy.
of them, one of them gets their heart smashed through their back. Arnold goes.
I just kept thinking of Chet when I was
Oh,
watching this.
dude!
movie.
Every time I was like, "When's he gonna say you're stewed buttwad?" I was waiting for it the whole
You
time.
two donkey dicks couldn't get laid in a morgue. It was perfect for this movie.
For Christ's sakes, cover yourself.
All right,
A much better role for Bill Paxton, who was Chet in Weird Science.
Yeah.
So you want to try his top 4? All right.
Tombstone?
Tombstone is not in his top 4. No.
Titanic.
Titanic is not in his top 4.
I had to think about it. I was like,
Twister?
Bill Paxton's in Titanic, but
Twister,
he is.
yes.
Twister.
How about Aliens?
Aliens is in his top 4. Yes.
Near Dark.
No.
Should be.
This algorithm on IMDb is ridiculous.
It's
some of the things that they have in the top 4.
It's the stupidest algorithm.
Weird Science.
That's not in there.
So wait,
Yeah.
what have we gotten that's in there?
Aliens and Twister you've gotten so far. And there's so many movies that you could put in there.
Nightcrawler?
Not in there. No, I mean, it's obvious this movie, but no, I'm going to give them to you, though. Frailty?
Don't know that
I think
one.
that was with John Cusack, wasn't it?
I don't
Frailty.
recognize it.
And then Apollo 13.
Oh, sure.
Wait, isn't
I'm
Frailty...
sorry, Tombstone should have been in there.
Frailty's
Yes.
Matthew McConaughey, Powers Booth. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah, Tombstone's
also,
great.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies.
That was also... No, it's not the movie I'm thinking of.
Because Tombstone came out at the same time,
That's one of your
Wyatt
favorites,
Earp
right?
came out.
Tombstone?
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Tombstone's so much better.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Val Kilmer
Val
alone.
Kilmer's
Wyatt
Wyatt
Oh
Earp
my
did,
God.
didn't
Val
they do
Kilmer.
horrible in the box office? Wyatt Earp did, I think.
so.
Yeah.
That was Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and Sharon Stone?
But it's Kurt
No.
Russell and
Get out of here.
They were already done. It's
yeah,
like, you're
you
done.
got Kurt Russell and
Yeah.
Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer is
No.
Doc Holliday,
Sam
man.
Elliott?
Kurt He's
Russell's
dying
hair
of, like,
lately
tuberculosis.
has been just... His hair just keeps getting bigger. It's like,
Does it?
I love his hair. It's just like...
I don't know if I've seen him in a while.
It's just like turning into Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, he's got one of those impressive beards. Like I look at guys with
He
those
does.
beards. I'm like, how's your hair like get like that
It gets
long
Yeah.
it's like
full
bushy and
and
just, yeah.
man?
I
jealous.
guess we should talk about the cast, right? Mary Beth McDonough.
I thought we did. We talked about Bill Paxton.
I was going to
yeah,
say,
what else matters?
anyone else have a top 4 in this or no?
The main chick was from the Waltons. That's all I know
Christy
her from.
Parsons.
She was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't recognize
I mean, I never
she
watched
played
the Waltons,
Aaron.
but
She played Aaron Walton.
Oh, okay.
But
Good night, John Boy. That's all I know.
Mortuary is
The
in
guy
her
with
top
the-
4. It made it into
Okay.
her top 4.
well, because she only did 4 things.
Yeah.
Let me see how many. What's her filmography? Is only she
Linda?
did 48 things. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize one other person in this
Yeah.
movie at all.
I needed George's, but Kurt Ayers looked familiar. Didn't he look familiar to you?
Who was that?
He was the friend. Yeah, he was in Zapped.
He was the one that got killed right away, Josh?
No, he was the one. He was a heavier set kid. He
Oh.
had the hat on.
Oh, he was in Zapped, really?
He was in Zapped. Yeah.
He had the best line in this movie. God damn
This
it.
guy.
I wrote it down because, yeah, he had the best line.
He got the popcorn dumped on his head.
Because he said,
and he was like,
so he's
like,
the
"That's
he's
not
the
nice."
big big fat sweaty guy, and he tells the hot blonde guy, "You look like shit."
Yeah.
I was like,
And he
who are-
looked completely fine
Who are
also.
you?
he's in.
Who are you to say that?
The reason why I knew him is he's in that movie Midnight Madness that I always talk
okay.
about.
Oh, yeah.
Michael J. Fox's first movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, you've been talking about that for a long time.
Eddie
man.
Deazen's in that.
Well, you know, Linda Day George,
Love her.
she was actually in a few episodes of The Love Boat.
Yeah, she had 3 episodes of The Love Boat. Yeah,
I looked
Which
that
one's
up.
that? Is that the
looked that up
mom?
as well, yeah.
Is that the mom?
The mom,
Yeah.
she was on the. That's one thing I like to see when they're on the Love Boat every now and then.
Yeah.
But she was in 3 episodes of the Love Boat. Yeah,
3 different characters.
yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, that was
Oh,
one of that
really?
was one of our Love Boat things.
That was
Like,
one of our things
he's
that
in-
would be like,
he's in
she's-
7 episodes.
It's 2 different characters.
2 characters. We're like, oh my god, there's like crossovers. Or if it was like 7 episodes, 6 different characters. We're like, did they have a 2-parter? Like, why is there only 6
Yeah,
characters?
that's what happened a couple times. It was like 2-parters.
Yeah, it makes me curious about that show because I think 2 of her episodes were not very far apart. So did they not address that? Or did they...
They never
Is it-
did.
is it
lot of
There's-
makeup or
there's
something?
never
It's a
continuity.
completely different crews that are just like whatever, you know.
And the cast, the crew is just like, oh, I got a boyfriend. And you're like, oh, yeah, you've been with him for months, except for the fact that, like, last week you were with a boyfriend that was like, you've been with for months.
Christopher George is in 4 episodes of the Love Boat.
Interesting.
Now,
That's 3 different characters.
he's the mortuary guy, right?
Yeah,
He's the actual
He had,
mortuary.
Mr. Andrews.
he's also in 4 episodes of Fantasy Island.
Same character.
That would be fun.
Did Love Boat and Fantasy Island ever do a crossover? That would have seemed like a natural kind of crossover. They were around the same time, or like night 9 and 10
I don't know.
o'clock.
That would have been interesting though. Like if they were like if Tattoo was on the cruise or something like that. You know,
I am
Hey,
here
boss,
for the, I am
the
here for the
cruise.
women.
The
Where are
cruise.
your women?
the cruise.
You know, one of the things I found, one thing was very funny, but out of place, but the cemetery scene. Score. You're not. The cemetery scene, sorry. Oh my God, is that better?
I'm trying to produce this episode, sorry.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah, that was good. The cemetery scene when Bill Paxton comes out from behind a random
with the flowers,
and then he runs away.
Yes,
his running away.
It was weird, right?
He was like,
he's like, I'm putting flowers on my mother's grave, and he gave the one flower to her.
He like frolicked away, and his arms were flailing. I'm like,
he was like Scott Evil. Well, no one in my family runs like a girl, and it was so weird because that was a random cut to those two in the cemetery, like making out. I'm like, why are they making out in the cemetery? But then they were in front of her dad's coffin or his headstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like, how was his body seated at their wedding later on? I don't understand how some of those bodies were in such good shape if they've been dead for a while.
His dad wasn't there. Was his dad? Yeah,
her parents were sitting next to each other. His parents were sitting next to each other, and of course, his mom
and Josh was there.
And Josh was the clown makeup.
Then his mom then his mom at the very end, right?
Yeah, I guess she wasn't. I was like, I guess that's why she's
scene,
so.
I was watching every single one of them during that scene to see if they moved, because I always do that with movies. If someone's pretending to be dead, I'm always like, are they going to move?
Was Mortuary 2 called The Embalming?
Oh my God!
That run is my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah,
it is a
Bill Paxton's run.
Yeah.
I don't know if they gave him direction on that,
place.
or if he
Did
just
they do it
decided.
sometimes.
Yeah,
like do it again, Bill. You didn't have enough frolic in there.
It was really funny, and it wasn't supposed to be, but it was really funny.
I want to know if that was purely Bill Paxton, or if they told him to do that.
Did he make the character? I feel like this is what the character would do.
Yeah, you know I mean, he's psychotic.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the way a psycho would run.
Yeah.
But
Bill, go with it. I want you to go with it.
Like
Bill.
Phoebe,
run
like
the way
Phoebe
you
and
think
Friends when she was running.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. Yeah.
And I feel like he's an embalmer, so like maybe that's why they look so good.
Don't they have to be creepy like anybody that works in a?
Who would ever want to work in a mortuary or be a mortician?
You have to have a weird look,
funeral parlor, and that's such a weird livelihood. I can't even imagine who would want to do that.
No,
be around dead bodies all the time. And they'll always say like, I like dead bodies better than the live ones, or something stupid like that.
But just the thought of having to see families every time, like every night when you have we got 2 tonight, and they're like, oh man.
Like, are you excited for?
Come in, you got to watch this family. They buried this person.
They got to grieve.
Yeah,
you're surrounded by sadness.
Are you excited for a day off? Like, oh my god, thank God there's no dead bodies today. Like,
you can't come in here like joking and laughing if you're working there. Like,
and he even said the dad said, he had a line. Oh shit, I wrote down.
Jumping out of a casket, scaring somebody. You know,
is it about them dying between 9 and 5?
I could run things smoother. People die between 9 and 5.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous line.
But he's right,
Yeah.
And that was great because she's like, I don't think you'll be comfortable in here.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe you want to be cremated. And the guy was like,
he's excited about that. I liked when they were looking for Josh, and his thought was, let's go see if he's at the roller rink.
That roller rink looked fun.
Oh my God, it did. But they said, I don't know if he said it, but they said roller ring.
Ring.
Did
right? They did.
But it's not from that era. But maybe that, I don't know.
I called it roller rink at that age.
Yeah.
They said ring
like
for sure.
Ring,
skating ring.
And it came up on the subtitles too. And it is a ring. So I don't know if they call it that over there. I don't know.
Maybe that was the name of that establishment.
Could be.
There's a great 2-part episode of Chips where they have they put on a party and it's at a roller skating ring.
Really? That's fun.
I love Chips.
Oh, I used to love.
They're going to be at Chiller.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to probably meet.
Eric Estrada?
I've already met him, though.
Eric Estrada from Chips.
Eric Estrada from Chips. That's from Mandy. The most ridiculous Nicolas Cage movie, Mandy. I don't know if you've seen it.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen that one.
There's a scene in it where...
Zach doesn't have that on DVD. He hasn't seen it
It's not on VHS.
The scene is... He goes up to the girl.
He goes up to his wife, after getting home.
And he says, knock,
it's like, knock, knock. Who's there?
Who's there? And he says, Eric Estrada. And she goes, Eric Estrada who? And he goes, Eric Estrada from Chips.
Well,
that's it. And it ends there.
The title for a most ridiculous Nicolas Cage movie, that's not easy either. So it's got to be good.
Yeah. Well, it's a revenge. It's a wife gets killed revenge. It's like a John Wick.
Okay.
But his wife was murdered, and then he goes,
I like Pig.
Rampage.
Did you see Pig? That was really good.
I'm bad with these.
Yeah.
They came out this century and they're not on.
Yeah. But you know what, though? I'm glad you brought up Josh. I want to talk about Josh.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Josh?
Yes.
I
love Josh.
His accent
His
or
voice?
whatever he was doing, he's like, my tires.
Yeah.
What happened to my tires? I was like, is that really his voice?
It seemed like there was a lisp in there.
He was going for it.
But
it was something else in there.
When they were
He was leaning into that, right?
Yeah.
When they got out of the van, he's like, come on, let's go in. I'm like, is he trying to sound like that, or is that just the way he sounds?
Something was not right there.
No.
Yeah.
He was trying to steal the light from Bill Paxton.
And I thought he was going to be the one that lived, and they were going to kill the hot, tall, blonde guy and leave that little squirrely guy alive.
He wanted those tires. Those tires moved on him, man. Why would you move the tires anyway?
Why would Josh kill, or why would Paul kill him anyway? What was the point of killing him other than the fact that Paul was psychotic? Like, that didn't play into his
obsession with the
plan.
Girl. Yeah.
Like, that was all.
There had to be better stuff up there than just those 2 tires. You could have grabbed more things.
What? Who's putting those?
You know what I mean?
So that is the mortuary warehouse, I guess.
That's like stuff that they would take. You would think they would have stuff out of people's pockets.
Yeah, why would you save?
Well, it's just
tires?
Mr. Andrews' warehouse.
True.
You know.
It could just be anything that he gets. Maybe he goes to like yard sales.
But he had,
all
like,
kinds of
he had
stuff in
like
there.
lots of tires. He had the big stack of
They were all
tires.
bald, though.
Oh, that's right. And then he had the tire on the tire swing, and then he had the tire that went down the stairs.
He opened the door. That one door he opened up, and the tire came right out at him. Remember? I was like, what the hell?
I like Josh's turkey dance or chicken dance. He calls him a turkey, but it's a chicken dance.
And maybe you want to watch Rubber.
He did say he's like turkey. I'm like, is that? Aren't you calling him a chicken? Are you calling?
Don't you want
like,
to watch Rubber after seeing this?
I've seen him once. That was enough. One rubber was enough. Thank you.
Tara did ask me, was this Jason's idea? She always, when the movie's bad, did Jason recommend this one?
It's bad?
She left halfway through and was like, I'm going to ShopRite. Don't hit
Rubber?
pause.
She left halfway through?
No,
Or-
today, Mortuary.
Oh, Mortuary,
Because she'll watch them with me, but today she was like, I'm going to ShopRite. Don't hit
Michelle
pause.
went out of state. She didn't even want to sit around. I'm like, you want to sit around and watch Mortuary? She's like, I'm going to go to Pennsylvania. I'm like, fine.
She go to Parks?
Poconos. She's there with her sister. The big fat guy, whatever his name is, the friend, the one from Zapped.
Yeah.
He's like,
And,
what the hell's
Midnight Madness.
what the hell's a Mozart? Like he's got all his albums. He's like, what the hell's a Mozart? I'm like, does he really not know that name? Has he never heard that name until that time? Where he's like, look, I got Mozart. And he's like,
I think
what the
it might
hell's a
have been a
Mozart?
joke and it just didn't land. But I mean, or
he says
he's just
Mozart.
completely. He has no idea. Yeah.
Well, he said, I think it's a punk band.
Oh,
And they
yeah,
were
I love
at
them.
a junior college. So what
they were
exactly
in college?
is the sign at their thing? It's not
Yes.
high school. It said junior
I
college.
didn't even pick up. I
So what is
figured they were
junior
high school.
college like before? Is it like 13th
I
grade?
think junior
it's like,
college is like when you go to Mercer
community-
County.
Yeah, community college.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know if that was an in between your not
'cause
quite
it's
ready.
Junior college is not.
You're getting your
It's not
associates.
a
kind of thing.
university.
Okay.
It's not a. You know what I mean? It's not a state school. It's not a university. It's a community college. It's not,
Yeah. I
it's
thought that was high
accredited,
school in
but
the beginning.
whatever,
I thought they were high school kids.
It was Cliffside Junior College.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's
I
where
noticed,
the Baysides kids go
Bayside
to Cliffside.
High, yeah.
They go to Cliffsides.
they're in California, and you would think that if you look at the records that are in his arms, he's got 2 Doors records.
Yes, I saw
He's
the
got
Doors
Waiting
records,
for
yep.
the Sun and Morrison Hotel.
And he's got Mozart.
And you'd think that if you wanted Christy, like it's California in the 70s or 80s, you'd show her the Doors. Why would you show her the Mozart record?
Yeah, or even the 70s, 80s in
But he was-
California. I mean, wouldn't there be other things to show her? Like,
You want to come over and listen to this Mozart record?
70s,
really-
80s, California. I mean, you think like Van Halen. You think like the
Yeah.
Sunset Strip. You know,
That's what hanging out in the mortuary does. To
He was really
Yeah.
into them Mozart because he was into Mozart because he was conducting at the end quite terribly, by the way. And I know nothing about conducting except for the fact that you're supposed to at least keep the time. And he was swinging around. I'm like, that's not how you do it. You don't wave around like this when.
how about the scalpel? Every time I got the scalpel to the throat, somebody would come in or somebody some
Just
interruption.
right on time.
Every time, right when he got down to here.
So
and he always
besides-
stopped and pulled away. Why wouldn't you just go finish it? Get it over with.
Besides the fact he was a perv and a murderer, did he want to be a necrophiliac too? Was he hoping
I
to kill
felt
her?
like that was
and
what it was
then
going to
bang
be.
her?
Yeah. I feel like that's what was
Because
happening.
why would he kill her?
He
Why
was
would
gonna drain her.
He wanted to embalm
Yeah.
her, and
But he
then,
wasn't going to have sex with her first. He was going to have sex after. 'cause
Yeah.
It
So,
seemed like
so he's not a rapist, at least. At the very least, he's not a rapist.
he's
Yeah.
necrophiliac.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Yeah.
a pervert.
When he kills Christy's mom, he definitely had an orgasm doing that.
Yes, I agree. He absolutely did.
Yeah. Saw that.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah. I think we all are in agreement
Yeah.
on
He
that
was
one. Yeah.
penetrating her like 90 times.
When before the power started going on and off, or maybe after, she said, "I'm gonna go get us something to eat," and she came back with a whole cake.
Yeah,
that was there, a whole cake and a thing of milk.
A thing of milk and cake. That scene
and
in the
that was
house
a homemade cake. Like someone make that. That wasn't. You didn't buy that at a bakery.
It was frosted chocolate.
It was frosted
so
chocolate.
Good too. That was
probably
a very good cake. You know that. Soft.
By the way, when they were having sex on like the floor in the like the family room or whatever it was,
they were going at it,
fully naked.
Yeah.
But like the mom had just the day before snuck up on them.
Yes, in the house.
In the house as they were walking out the door. She was there. They were going to stab her. She was walking out the door. I'm like, why are you having sex out in the open like that?
Yeah.
I was waiting for the mom to walk in on him.
That was a really nice house, by the way, for a widow.
Yeah.
Well, he was a doctor. That was his house. So he had that nice coastal, the coastal view.
Cliffside.
Cliffside. Yes. Yes. There it is. Cliffside Community College. At one point, I think it was when they drive to
California.
When they drive into town one time, she's got her license plate is Pardee.
Oh yeah.
PARD2.
Yeah,
PARD2. And they show the LA skyline in the background and the fucking smog, man. Goddamn. Like, it was so gross looking. I was like, no wonder they have those California emissions things on cars now, because holy shit, you could just tell the haze that was over the entire valley.
I had a bumper
God,
sticker
so
when I was a kid. I had to hang it up in my room. It said, "I'm a Star Wars fan. Honk if you..." And then I had a picture of R2-D2. So it's honk if you are R2-D2.
Nice.
I thought that was fun.
I like that.
I'd like PAR-D2.
I mean, I would never put it on a car. Like, you know, like that would be weird on a car, but I thought it was a fun sticker.
Yeah.
I didn't have a car when I had it up. But it was just...
I have more things about Josh.
Please, let's do it.
There were some things right in the beginning that Josh did that I thought were very revealing about his character. That I really liked.
You know, he died like 5 minutes in this movie, right?
Yes, which is amazing. He was able to fit these things in.
I just want to hear him talk more, don't you?
What was his acting career after this? Do we know?
I'm going to go into his filmography.
Did he turn out to be George Clooney or something like that? Secret
he
George
only
Clooney.
acted in 8 things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Surprising he got that many roles.
And his first role was 10 episodes. He played Eugene Belvin on Happy Days.
I don't know that character.
No idea.
He's in 1 episode of Chips. Then he was in Mortuary. Then
Jason masturbated that episode of Chips when Josh showed
I'm going to see
up.
what episode of Chips that is. It's a season 5 episode, Overload. A delivery of computer... I just saw this one recently. A delivery of computer chips is stolen, plus the CHP computer gets hacked, which creates chaos with paychecks and Ponch's little black book.
It would have been better if his character was somebody stealing tires.
Yeah.
Which one's...
I was like, he's typecast.
Can't get out of this thing.
Which one's Ponch? Is that Emilio Estevez or
Eric Estrada?
Yeah. One of those EE guys. Sorry.
I was like, Emilio, what's going on? I was like, what are we talking about?
One of those fake Spanish guys.
Eric Estrada is Ponch.
He's Ponch, okay.
Well, he gets fired, and his plan is to go steal tires, right? So they go to the warehouse.
Like, that's all he really wanted tires. He didn't really talk about a car or anything. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he got a ride there. So he obviously,
So he needed those tires to get his car on the road, probably, yeah.
But he says, I think Greg says, what would you be doing in here anyway? Talking about Mr. Andrews. And Josh goes, probably getting laid. And then Greg goes, who would want to get laid in here? And Josh goes, you'd be surprised. Which implies that he's
the backstory on that.
Yeah, he's like banging girls in this warehouse.
Josh was not. Josh was banging no girls. No,
that's what he implies though.
He's implying it to
So I'm
Greg,
like, I'm not surprised you got fired. But then they go upstairs and he goes, what's all this embalming stuff doing in here? I'm like, your boss owns a mortuary. Why wouldn't there be embalming stuff in here?
That's where you keep
Yeah. But more than that, when they catch them doing the seance, he goes...
The way they're looking down, like, yo, check it out over here. Look,
we got a seance going on down here.
Well, Greg goes, what are they doing? And Josh goes, they're doing a seance. And Greg says, how do you know that? And Josh mentions for the first time, he goes, oh, I caught them doing this a little while ago, and that's why I got fired. And your girlfriend's mom was there. It just seems like if I
tell her.
Yeah, I would tell my friend that probably the same day that I saw, I saw my boss.
We need to talk.
Yeah, and some of the local townswomen doing a seance. And by the way, your girlfriend's mom was also there. Sorry, I forgot to bring that up.
The two dangling plot threads of this movie are... What's the purpose of the seance stuff? Because it goes nowhere. Like,
basically, they're trying to say that the mom was up to good.
I guess.
She was trying to get in contact with her dead husband.
I guess. And then,
are you there?
Yeah.
And what was with who's the main girl? What's her name? Christy
Parson.
Like, what is with her? Like, lucid sleepwalking, walking into a pool, stabbing people with knives, jabbing axes in people. Like, do we know why she's like that? Besides the fact that her dad died, they're like, you've been having nightmares.
I think she just started having nightmares after her dad died, right?
Yeah. I mean, what's up with her going to bed with full makeup
on that little like creepy
one wipe thing
in that creepy like rape basement bed, like in the corner with the one little blanket? I was like, oh god, I'm like, bad things have happened in that bed.
Yeah, seriously.
Also, a lot of heavy sleepers in that house.
Yeah, when you walk into
she was
water,
right across the hallway when
screaming.
Her mom is being
and the door's
impaled
open
multiple times.
There's no way she's sleeping that deep.
But as soon as she stepped in that water, she should have woken up. But it took her until it went over her nose and she couldn't breathe anymore. She was like, oh, wait, what? She actually probably peed and she's like, why is it so warm right there? Yeah, her sleepwalking was amazing. Like, she did so much. I don't do that much when I'm awake. She did so much while she was asleep. She jammed an axe into a person's thing.
Yeah, she killed the villain in the sleepwalk. It's the first that I've seen that.
Right, yeah. Sleepwalking is, I can't do it unless I'm sleepwalking. Sleep.
Go to sleep.
Oh, you know what, too? Christopher George.
Yes.
This was his last role.
Yes.
Is that the Mortuary dad?
Yeah, he died soon after, I believe.
Oh, did he really? Well, he wasn't that old, was he? Don't say 53.
He went
Don't
from...
say 53. Don't say 53.
He looked very old, but he didn't. He looked 70.
All right, so we're going to go around. How old do you think Christopher George was when he died? He died November 28th, 1983.
Oh, so right after this came out.
Wow.
I'm going to say he was 53.
I'll go 65.
86.
He was 52.
Oh, that was not a 52-year-old man.
Old young.
Now, this is 52 now. Like, that does not...
No, it's not the
52
same.
40 years ago is not the same as 52 now. It's just...
That's insane.
We have
hard
had
living.
We've had the conversation many times about how people look so much older.
Yeah, the
Like,
Wilford
in
Brimley
fact,
effect.
I was watching the original Odd Couple movie the other day. Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon. It was just on, and I'm watching it for like 10 minutes, whatever. They are 41 and 42 in that movie. They look so old. I'm like, how are these guys? Because as soon as I saw him, I'm like, what's Jack Lemmon, like 60 here? 41. Walter Matthau, 42. I'm like, wow. I'm like, when I picture Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, they were always like 70 years old.
Old men already.
Like he was already 70 in Bad News Bears.
Yeah, when I think of him in Bad News Bears, I think of him at least in his 50s, 60s.
He was probably like 50.
Yeah.
Because like that's probably 10 years after Bad News.
Do you know what his last name was in that? In Bad News Bears?
No.
Walter Matthau?
Come on. That's easy. That's a... easy
Buttermaker.
I haven't seen the movie since I was a kid.
Now, you're talking about the original, right? With Walter Matthau, not the remake with Billy Bob Thornton.
No, I never saw that. Any of the remakes.
I never saw that one either.
Are there any like actors like that today that are like a Telly Savalas, Charles Bronson, kind of hard living? Like, I feel like everybody's pretty now.
You know,
you got like a Steve Buscemi or something like that.
Maybe a McConaughey? Would a McConaughey be that kind of guy, maybe?
I feel like Leo has become that now. Like, Leo's probably like 45, but like he always like...
I saw a meme recently. He's morphing to Jack Nicholson.
He kind of looks like puffy.
Yes.
He's like kind of puffy, gray, and I'm
Christian
like...
Slater used to be the next Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, well, he did a Jack Nicholson.
And everything, you know what I mean? But he's in something... Is he in anything now? Like, is he in a show recently?
Yeah, well, he did Mr. Robot a few years back.
I didn't want to watch because of Remy Malek. I cannot
Oh my god, I like him. I only watched the first season. It was really good.
Oh. Not like him.
He made that Netflix it wasn't a cartoon, a kid show with some creature that they discovered in their barn. It was like a family-friendly type movie.
Oh, I remember seeing the trailer for that. I didn't watch it, though. Yeah.
But I don't think I've seen him in anything recently, or maybe I have. I usually, if I see that he's in something, I'll watch it.
I know that's one of your favorites.
I feel like I'm drawing a blank because I have seen him recently.
I feel like you've been gleaming the cube a little too much lately.
Well, yeah. I know that he's coming up as Legend of Billie Jean, which was one of his first ones. So we have to make it till then.
We'll do that one on here. Yeah.
It's like 86. So
we'll
let's keep this going.
Well, as long as Jason lives that long.
We're not quitting.
Yeah.
It's all on Jason now.
So
how long can Jason last?
You know what? I almost forgot to make my Christopher George joke.
Please.
Right. He went from Mortuary to the Mortuary.
There you go.
Oh, he really did.
Boo.
It's just a few months.
It's almost like my what's the opposite of Christopher Walken joke?
Christopher Reeve.
Reeve. Walking.
I heard that one. You wrote that?
I don't take credit for it. No, I can't. I wanted to, but I can't.
So, Christy
Snow?
Who's the lead girl? What's her name?
Christy Parson.
Christy.
Mm-hmm.
So she went into the pool and then almost got murdered by Paul, as we will find out that it's Paul, but she almost gets murdered by him, goes in the house, screaming with mom, blah, blah, blah. The next day, she's out in front of the house with her boyfriend, and they walk into the dark blackout house, and that's not a cause for concern in any way.
No.
That's
probably just the wind.
It's just the wind. I was like, what's that mean? The blackout was caused by the wind? Those are some high winds.
Oh,
Did you have high winds today?
Well, they say that later, too. The mom, when the phones are out, it's probably just the wind.
Just the wind. Where are
Must
you
be something
living?
common in the LA winds, the Santa Ana winds, you know what I mean?
Well, she was going to call the electric company, which in all of my life, even as a kid living at home, I
1, 2,
never
3,
thought
4,
to
5,
call
6, 7,
the electric
8,
company.
9. Electric company.
Yeah.
I'm just
As just this kid, I'm like, no teenager living at home with their parents, like, I'm going to call the electric company.
Air.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You just blame the wind and then have some brandy and go to bed.
Yeah. Take a shot with your mom, go to bed.
Brandy sounds so adult-like, doesn't it?
I know.
And you could tell the mom was like, huh. She did the post-drink shake. I'm like, you obviously did not enjoy that. Why are you suggesting this?
Another one?
When you're doing a seance in your was the seance in the mortuary? I guess it was, right?
No, it was in the warehouse.
The second one where the mom was there and she was like talking about,
and the table was moving.
Yeah. He was obviously moving with his knees and stuff like that. Why wouldn't you lock the doors? If you're doing a seance in your house, you want to have as much privacy as possible. You don't want like random people in your mortuary that people probably walk into every day to be like, "Hey, listen, my husband died. We got to like talk about this." He just had the doors open.
It was just not.
It was bad planning.
Everybody was so blasé about these seances that it made me feel like maybe that was just a thing that people did back then.
Was that a California thing?
When I was a kid, I was a Girl Scout, so we always went camping or just different camping trips. We always did seances in our tent as a little girl in the 80s. So it wasn't very big. Like, we did light as a feather, stiff as a board. You did not have a girl sleepover party without doing that. Ouija board. Right? Of course. And
Dana, these were old people, as old as 52 years old. These were old,
I feel like in the 80s,
people.
like that, it was just a big thing in the 80s.
And that does I mean, the fact that he's 52 is just insane.
I know. Can't get over that. Well, how old was the mother? She had to be, at least she looked to be 50.
The mom?
The mom.
The blonde?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think she looked that old. I was going to say 40.
40? No, I don't know.
She's still alive.
Okay.
All right. So this was what, 83?
Yeah.
All right. How old do you think she was?
I'm going to say
50?
40.
50?
55.
She was 39.
Oh my God.
I can always pin these people within a year of their birth.
39. I feel
She
like
looks good for 39.
Hey.
I
Are you
thought she was
39?
like 50.
Those kids must have been on dope or something.
Yeah.
Why do people in horror movies almost exclusively across the board always forget how doors work? Like, why did she struggle so hard?
I know.
With
her
that
own door, nonetheless. It wasn't like it was a strange door.
It took her 10 minutes to figure out how to open that front door. I was like, you asked me to open the door. I'm back in 5 seconds. I know how to open the door.
So there's a TikTok trend people are doing now since Halloween time where they have a contest with their friends or family, and it's called the Michael Myers contest, where you get, I guess you start at the end of your driveway and you see if you can unlock the door by the time Michael Myers gets to you. So you run up, Michael Myers walks at his normal pace, and you try to unlock your own front door.
Wait, you play the movie as you're doing it?
No. You're just outside. So you dress up like Michael Myers. You give Andy the keys.
Oh, okay.
And you both start at the same point and said, okay, you see if you can get in the house. Most of the time, they don't make it in the house. They're struggling to find the key. They're trying to get in. They get nervous because, you're being chased by someone walking slow.
You never play that game with yourself? I always do that.
Well, yeah.
Like when I would walk
if I'm home alone, coming home alone.
I would trip up the stairs like 3 times, too. That would slow me down.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, if I can see it, but yeah, she forgot that her door locks at the bottom because after struggling with the handle, then she like knelt down to the ground to,
there was some kind of
pull like that
down
there, whatever.
Yeah.
But how about she totally shattered a window just by stabbing it with a knife, like
while she was asleep.
Yeah, while she was asleep.
Sleepwalking person. Yeah.
And then she clearly needed to go to the hospital because she was bleeding through her bandages.
Me of a knife that they used to work a time machine.
Yes. That was the missing part, the knife in the time machine. That was so good.
Is that one of your shows you're watching?
That was totally killer.
Totally killer.
Oh, okay.
That's how she's running away in the current time from the killer, and he goes to stab her, but hits this time machine that her friend is trying to build, and that's what finally, like, that was the missing part of getting the time machine to work properly, was the stabbing of it, and then she goes back to 1987.
That makes,
it's perfect sense.
That's how time machines work, right?
It's absolutely how it works.
I would have thought that. I would have thought that's how it happens.
It is. Yeah.
The weird
All
thing
my
about
time
real
machines
quick, I know I shouldn't be talking about that movie, but like the science fair was at like a abandoned theme park.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I thought you had to put like an energy drink in a hot tub for a time machine.
Yeah, that's the other way.
I'm running out of notes. What do you guys got?
I only have.
There's Linda Day-George today.
Oh, she looks better now than she did back then.
No, she looked great.
No,
Wait,
come on.
She's still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was. She's 79.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hillbillies.
That's where I wanna be.
Living in Beverly Hills.
Was this around that area? You think?
Weezer? I don't know. Right? That's Weezer.
This
right?
Weezer.
Yes.
Cliffside.
Cliffside. What was the question? I apologize.
Cliffside Community College,
Where
right?
was this at, you think?
Oh, that's definitely L.A.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
say
LA.
suburb of LA. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I felt like the sheriff was like
Crenshaw.
He was very like a hillbilly sheriff.
Oh, that sheriff was so out of place.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's a sheriff like out of a Texas.
I was like, is this Buford T.
Beverly
Justice?
Hillbillies.
It was like Buford T. Justice was the sheriff there. God dang.
Well,
Some bitch.
Well, Galway.
I think that's it, because my last note is, it's blank, stupid. We already covered that. I did have, like, how are her dad and his mom in such good shape? And then when the mom popped up at the end, I'm like, well, that explains the mom. But the dad, they had a gravestone for him. Was he not buried yet? And how long had he been dead before? Like, he got killed at the first scene. He got hit in the head with the bat, which I don't know how the cops didn't see evidence of trauma on him if he got hit twice, once in the back and once on the face. You would have thought there were bruising. But how is he at the wedding? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Did they not bury him yet?
Well, if he was controlling the embalming and putting him in the coffin,
maybe he
he
never even put him in the coffin.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good job, Dana.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
Wow, that's good insight there, because I couldn't figure out that.
He said, although he's not...
That's an empty coffin in there, huh?
Yeah.
Said, although he's not in this film, Michael Berryman nonetheless was featured in the U.S. theatrical trailer for this movie.
Who's Michael Berryman?
Interesting.
From Weird Science.
The Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills Have Eyes.
The
Weird Science.
big bald guy.
Long face
Smoking
guy
in the boys' room.
Oh,
Motley Crue.
yes. Okay. Yep. I hear you're talking about.
Really? He's in the trailer.
For what reason?
I don't know.
He's just in the
It
trailer?
makes you wonder if it was maybe a part and it got cut, or I don't know.
They were both in Weird Science a couple years later.
Yeah.
True. Is that director connected to Weird Science in any way? Like a producer or anything like
maybe,
that?
I
Like,
don't know,
that's
but
weird.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
I
I
love
can't wait
that
to get
movie,
to that one.
I watched that recently.
Yeah.
I just saw the end recently. Like, we turned it on because I saw...
Like after the party, like when he drives the girl home.
I saw, like, as they were at Gary's house. And
everything's going back.
And she's screaming at the dad, "Listen, Al, you're out of shape. I'll kick your ass." I'm like, man, I love Kelly LeBrock in that movie, man.
You said you were in there combing your hair.
I was not tossing off.
I never tossed off. Who's this Gary character?
Who is this Gary guy? My roommate, my sophomore year, my sophomore year in college, Gary Richter was my roommate, and my God, the amount
crazy
of people,
insane.
who's that Gary character? I'm like, that's just my roommate.
Give me the keys.
Give me the keys.
Crazy insane.
You know what? I
In the
liked
Family Jewels, worst pain there is.
Right in the family jewels.
the Family Jewels.
God damn, the Weird Science podcast is gonna be terrible. It's gonna
Yeah.
That's
be
gonna be a
doing
fun
this.
one. You coming on for that one?
Sure. I really liked. I don't know if you caught the clear lifting from Halloween in this movie.
What part?
The POV shots with the heavy breathing, but it didn't sound cool. It sounded like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And he was also heavy breathing after he didn't have his mask on anymore. When he was carrying her
Did
out
you really
and putting
have
her
a
in the
mask?
car.
You just have like white face paint
That's
on?
another
Or,
thing.
like,
But
Because
and
at
then
one point it was just
pulled
this
it
part
off.
was like wiped off.
Because
right
she
there.
pulled it off at one point,
Right.
ripped it off his face. But
and she was
before
like,
it was just
"Oh,"
paint.
Which
But
they
then he
revealed their
carried
killer
her-
in this
Exactly.
Yeah.
long before they actually
Yeah,
revealed
that's what
the
we
killer.
said. They reveal it way too early.
Yeah. It's strange.
Well, then he carries her to the car, and you see it from afar, and he's breathing heavy, but you don't have a mask on. Why are you breathing like that now?
The best breathing heavy ever is Tony Soprano in
doing
the final seasons of The Sopranos, because it could just be like
Tony Soprano sitting at his desk.
He's just like,
yo, puss.
Also, Mrs. Andrews is alive the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
How does that work?
And she was
was he
and
keeping her
eyes
sedated?
were opened at the wedding there. So
Yeah.
was she awake or just...
And how
Like,
much
when you're
damage do you think she
sedated,
was able to do at the end there? They're probably like, well, bitch, get out of here.
When you have
Push
not
her over.
moved for days or weeks on end because you've been sedated, you cannot jump out. Jump up.
I would think you'd be very groggy. Like
your
legs would
limbs
give
would
out.
be like
Yeah.
atrophied
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Or
So.
just why would she do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake your death and...
Like,
Well, I thought it
she's
was
not going to
implied.
overpower anybody.
I thought it was implied that he faked her death. Like he was like saying, like, "Mom," he's like, "I know everybody
Oh.
thinks you committed suicide, but like I
Because
think
then the
he did
father
something to
says,
her."
she tried to kill herself.
Yeah.
And I said, but that's how she died.
Right.
She didn't try,
She
she
didn't.
did.
She succeeded.
And then that's why I guess they did whatever they did to her. He said, I know you're mad at me, but she tried to kill herself. So
But he thought she killed herself, right? The dad, I would have thought.
I don't know, because
Yeah.
he said she tried.
Right.
That's
He
why we did
definitely
what we
said
did.
tried.
So I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, do you think the dad was involved? In
no,
her
because
being...
then I was in my head. I'm like, oh well, maybe she then killed herself again. Like she did it one more time.
Yeah.
and
She tried,
succeeded.
and then she did it.
But then she was alive, so then it made me think, oh, maybe that's why he said what he said. He knew she wasn't dead, and they were keeping her sedated and in that coffin, and that's why she didn't move when the guy opened the coffin, because she was sedated and when her arm was hanging out.
Oh, she the one in the coffin at
Yeah.
the very
Oh.
beginning? I didn't
that
even
makes
realize
I thought
sense,
that was
actually.
her.
Yeah.
I thought that was her in the
Jeez,
coffin.
I did not even realize that's who was in that coffin.
20, 24
now it
hours
actually
ago.
it makes more sense because I was like, why are they
Yeah.
even showing that body in the coffin? But that was the mom.
Yeah, I think it was the mom.
Maybe that's why
a
Paul
good point,
killed
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Because now he saw his mom was in the call. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make logic in a movie that does not deserve to have that much logic.
Well,
brought
yeah,
upon it.
because then he could have ruined the whole thing going to the cops.
Do you have more
saying it was
notes?
a
If
body.
not, we can get into scores.
Do you know body count in this movie?
I do, yes. You want to
Oh.
Ooh, body count.
You know it then too, I guess.
A
right?
real body count?
I feel like
this is the mom count.
I feel like for a slasher, it was kind of
It's very low.
No.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was only I thought it was 5.
4 or 5.
Are we counting Paul?
I think that's the one that was.
Mm-hmm.
You never kill the kill. You never count the killer.
We had Josh,
The mom,
the mom,
the dad.
the dad, Mr. Andrews, and
That's
who
it.
else? Is that it?
Nobody.
Well,
See what I had here. Hold on.
and then her dad at the very beginning.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we
Her
got to
dad.
count him too.
Yeah,
So, those
He's
4.
killed off screen. Well, it's
Well,
a dream.
that's how it
I
happened.
guess.
That's how it
Yeah.
happened.
That'd be 5.
Yeah. That's a light
I
body
got
count.
4 plus 1 in a dream sequence, which still ends up being a dead body. We just don't know how
dad.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it
And
happened.
it got 1 baseball bat beating in slow mo, resulting in drowning. But it was all a dream, so who knows if that's all how it really went down. 3 stomach stabbings, 1 axe to the back, and 1 pair of breasts, along with there's 1 pair of breasts they show along with a few close calls.
Yes.
That whatever that tool is that morticians use, like that thing's more violent than like a machete or any kind of like butcher knife. That thing went through the dad all the way through on one
Yeah,
hit.
right?
I'm like, fuck. I'm like, he pierced his entire body with that thing. I was like, wow. I'm like,
I liked that character with the face paint and the hood and the murder weapon. I thought it was like unique.
It was just
I liked that.
the guy underneath it was kind of not that cool. So you're like,
Yeah.
There wasn't much of a story there behind him.
I mean,
yeah.
it's
Cool
scary
character, though.
because if you're a young female, you're probably gonna. But like, if that guy came into my house right now, I'm taking him out. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Well, that's
not-
what I
he's
thought.
like-
I thought Greg
Yeah.
could have taken
Yeah.
him easy.
Big
I
time.
think so too.
I mean, I
yeah.
say
Yeah.
that if a guy walked into my house right now, I'd probably
You're
piss
dead.
myself. please, I'm married with children. Take them.
Yeah.
All right, you want to get into your score?
Me first?
Yeah. You're a guest.
That's a lot of
No.
pressure.
You're a guest.
Strictly for the opening sequence, which I thought was really cool. What happened?
I dropped my pen right there.
Uh-oh. It's right. There you go.
You got it?
Cut while we get Jason's pen up to him.
Check. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Into your score now. Yes.
I really liked that opening sequence. I thought for slashers, as long as there's like one good scene or something like that, I'm pretty forgiving. And I thought that was really cool. I would probably give it a 60.
60%. I
Going
like
with a
that score
60.
for this one. because I was right around the same. I was giving it a 65, which is probably around. It's probably a lower score for my horror. This is our last horror movie that we're doing for.
This is the end of it, right?
I
think this actually comes out.
Our
the
last
day,
Halloween extravaganza.
This comes out the day after Halloween. I think this will come out. Yeah.
And then we'll get back into our 83 movies. We got a few good ones coming up, but 65 for me. And now here come the low scores.
It's I feel like I need to rewatch this movie. I gave it a 70. I really had a blast watching this movie. I thought it was fun.
Nice.
It was quite stupid.
I had fun too. I mean, I think 65 is that's a decent happiness, but I don't think I'll rush to watch it again or anything like that.
I wouldn't rush to watch it again, but I would watch this again.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen this before. I had no knowledge of this movie at all.
This was brought to us by Zach.
Right.
Said,
I mean, it was dumb. It was dumb and fun, and I had a good time. And it's fun to watch a young Bill Paxton not be Chet.
Baby Paxton, yeah.
Baby Paxton.
So for me, like with Sleepaway Camp, I give that a very high score.
I love it. It
was a bad movie, but I enjoyed the crap out of it.
That was just
loved it. Bad movie.
Andy, would you give it a 50?
Yeah, I did not like that movie at all.
I think I gave it a really pretty high score. But for this one, I didn't enjoy it. There were some parts where I did. Bill Paxton made me laugh. The cemetery scene, he's running away. I thought that was goofy and funny, though I don't know if that's what they intended. Bill Paxton being in it, I enjoyed seeing him young like that. So I gave it a 40. Tara gave it a 32.
But she didn't watch enough to count.
No.
The score doesn't count.
You can't. Michelle gave it a 0 without seeing it because I know Michelle and she would have been like, I hate this movie.
I
Don't
agree.
make me watch this again.
It was a nice attempt at a slasher.
It's interesting.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than a lot of the slasher movies of this era. Like I thought
there's a lot of crappy slasher movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of crappy slasher movies.
It was paced. It had a nice slow pace.
Mm-hmm.
It was slow. Yeah, like the beginning, like it built, except for the Josh killing. I do need an explanation on that seance. So I'm like, kind of like, why they have a seance?
It's fun. That's what happens when women get together. That's what we do. We spin around. We have a cauldron in the middle, and we dance around it in our capes.
What's that group of
and sing
ladies that wear this
songs.
red hat or purple hats? Or
whatever? Yeah, I'm joining that club one day.
Or the
old.
The yellow jacket girls,
or something
like 90 or something. I think
my aunt was in that thing. Yeah, the purple hat.
Yeah, the purple hats.
Well, we know why Christy's mom is there, but I want to know why the other women are there.
Yeah, we don't get their stories.
Yeah, we don't have any backstory.
And that's why there's Mortuary 2. Is there? I'm assuming there's sequels. Or
I didn't see any sequels for it. There's a movie that came out in 2005. I don't know if that's a remake. I
accidentally started that one.
The
Because when I
2005 version?
searched it by voice on my Roku remote, and it came up, I just hit play, and I was like, this looks
I thought I was going to have to pay
common,
for this,
too new.
but I went to Amazon, and it was free on Freevee with ads.
Oh, yeah, I watched it on
Freevee.
Tubi.
Zach, did you have this on video cassette? Or?
No, I watched it on Amazon as well because I don't. That VHS is very expensive for that movie.
That's a hard one to get.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is it really?
Yeah, that's probably because it's Bill Paxton's first.
It's like having Willie Mays' rookie card or something like that.
There are a lot of these VHS are worth money, man.
Yeah.
They left it on a cliffhanger, dude. Mrs. Andrews hopping out of the chair.
There definitely should have been a sequel.
They were
something
setting
there.
up a sequel, yeah.
Was that 2005? Is that a remake of it?
I don't know. I did recognize one of the actors. She's known. She's married to Fuchs from Arrested Development. What was his first name?
Fuchs?
Tobias Fuchs from Arrested Development. She was married to him in real life.
David Guest?
What the hell's her name?
Abby
We're
Elliott?
talking about.
Yeah.
Abby Elliott? Is that her name?
No, maybe they're not together anymore.
David
She was
Cross's
very young.
wife you're talking
David
about,
Cross.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, but not
It was Abby Elliott,
No.
wasn't it?
No, maybe she's married to her now, but he was married to this girl. She was in like Travelhood of the Sister Pants thing, which none of you have seen, I'm sure. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. She was in that.
Amber Tamblyn?
Yes, Amber Tamblyn.
Yep.
Is that a Amber Tamblyn?
That's what I got it right there, too.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not Tamber Amblin? Like, I don't know. I don't like that name, man. I don't like that name at all.
I like her. She has like red hair sometimes.
Yeah. She had her own show for a while. She got her start in General Hospital. So she was a little girl when I used to watch that. She was on General Hospital.
Didn't Jennifer Aniston also, or Jennifer Gardner, or
No,
Jennifer
Sarah Michelle Gellar was on All My Children.
Okay.
I know too much stupid shit like that.
Well, do you still watch General Hospital?
No, it's funny because when we were off one day this week, we were eating lunch, and we have Sling now, and I was like, "Oh, just put on General Hospital so we could see like what's happening with these people." And we watched the last 10 minutes of it, and it was just, I stopped watching it during COVID.
Really, you stopped during COVID?
Yeah, Tara stopped maybe
It's funny,
a year
a lot
later.
of people picked up shows in COVID.
No, it just got so. I have wanted to stop watching that show for like a decade, but something always just brings you back to watching it, and it's just god awful.
Do you want a show to watch? I'll give you a show to watch on HBO Max. Larry Sanders Show.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Watch that from beginning to end.
I remember when I was younger seeing like an episode here or there, but not the whole thing.
It's the talk show, obviously, like a late night talk show.
Yeah,
it's all the behind the scenes.
Yes,
it's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite sitcoms. I would put it up there in my top 5. Probably.
Yeah, I do need something to watch, but yeah, I remember you telling me that before, and I remember seeing bits and pieces when I was younger, and I liked it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Now my kid gets home. Now the dog showed up.
And we're gonna go back.
I was like,
up there, right?
I heard the door slam. I'm like, that means someone's upstairs.
That's probably because he went to Spreaker. Because that's where you can get our podcast. Download, rate, subscribe, review, do all those fun things. The exciting and new podcast on all our socials. Interact with us there. We'll talk back. We really will. It's the Jazoo over there on Instagram. Jazoo74 on Twitter. This has been the exciting and new podcast. Zach, we got to have you back. I'm Jason.
Yeah, Zach. Very nice having you on. First time.
Good to be here.
Hopefully first time of many.
Hope so.
I am on AE Gonzo 1 on Twitter. AE Gonzo 1970 on Instagram. I'm Andy.
Dana Caps on Twitter. Dana Caps 77 on TikTok. I'm
and
Dana.
Instagram.
And Instagram. Oh my gosh. And Instagram. I'm Dana.
I follow you there.
I am tape_cemetery. That's CEMETARY on Instagram.
All right, you're uninvited now, man.
Yeah.
You can't
That's
be
awesome.
shit, man.
That is great. That's Tape Cemetery. It's one of my favorite Instagram accounts.
But
Tape Cemetery. I'll follow you after this.
yeah, I'm Zach. Eat shit and live, guys.
Eat shit and live.
Gosh, my favorite line.
The podcast.
Oh, bam, 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 bam,
If you want to
bam.
borrow a movie, dude, these are mine. Here, if you pan